Hello, people! Update at the home front. That's still in the works. Transmission's confirmed bad, cannot be repaired, must be junked. So that's the end of that. It's leaking so bad it'll leave a trail of gear oil behind it. So can't drive that much. $3,800 gone to waste. If I paid half that for it, then that would be great. If I could use it for work to make some money back, that would be great. But having to pay 17 to 20 bucks for gear oil once a week is just too much. With this, overall picture on it, the transmission was bad, the clutch assembly was bad, the whole front end, almost the whole front end was bad. Struts were bad, shocks were bad. A bunch of sensors on the engine was bad. The computer was bad. Fuel pump was bad. And the list goes on and on. Right now I'm having a problem with the speed sensor. And I've got a pretty good idea what that is. And cheap Chinese O2 sensors, both of them. I put 2 new ones in it. Tried to go cheap. And now it's coming back to bite me 7 months later. So they've got to be replaced. And as far as the escape goes, well, it's not back here anymore. This thing's got a flat. I'm not going to fix it, and I'm not using the car for work, so I'm pretty much wasted 10 grand. I'm not driving it. And I'm not putting tires on it until maybe later this year. So it'll sit there until it's needed, or I feel like I just want to fix it. Like I was saying, the Escape, for those that want to know an update on it, it is gone. Sent it off to a junkyard. The dude was so cheap he didn't want to pay me nothing for the car, but he didn't want to take it unless it was free. So yeah, I just basically gave the car away. But it wasn't running. It would not start. So it's not like he's gonna be able to sell it to anybody, and I didn't even offer him the title. I junked the car, literally, turned the plates in. Not too sure what this is gonna cost me. I do have the 20K motor to pair up with a transmission, but since I've got to pay $2,200 for a transmission for this car, I'm going to look for another option, and I found something from China that's a 15 kW motor with gearbox and 2 axles. So it's looking right around $1,200, depending on what shipping's going to cost me. If it's cheaper than a transmission, I'll go that route. But it's going to be a bit. As far as the bike goes, well, it's still in here. Parked it at 78 volts. I checked it the other day when it was warm. It's only like 48, 50 degrees out here right now. The battery was at 76 volts, so it lost 2 volts. I do not have a safety contactor in that bike at all. The controller handles everything, and it's very little discharge. So it's been sitting for about 8 months at least. That little discharge, well, I don't even consider that bad at all. In fact, that's pretty good. So, in other words, when I turn the key, there's no relay to contact to connect the battery to the controller. Some people recommend that, but if the controller has a wire coming out of it that goes straight into the battery, and you got to put a switch in it to turn the controller on and off, there's very little drain. I mean, once that key's off, that controller's not going to work. And that's pretty much it around the home front. And when I get to this, I've already talked to a guy that is willing to take the engine and transmission out of it fairly reasonable. I don't have any way to do it here. No concrete pad, no motor lift. So I'm not really sure. But only time will tell about this. And I may end up, well, for this year, it may end up being working on the home and working on cars for this year, because I don't really have any electronic projects in mind except for this thing, and that's it. Or basically, in general, changing a gas car over to electric. Um, but that's pretty much it, people. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.